Guys, what's going on? It's Jan here with Autumn, also known as AK Wonder from Justice for Hire. And I'm streaming on two channels right now on our TikTok. We have one on Justice for Hire, of course, and then the other on Coach Jan's Tai Chi. I'm Coach Jan to Coach Jan's community. So what's going on, guys? So tonight we're doing some stunt training. We're doing mostly focused on technique. Having great technique in your action scenes is so important. And great technique is foundational to great martial arts. So your great martial arts experience, the stuff that you do on your own, that's what shows up on camera. So Autumn here is going to be the subject, and you guys can follow along with Autumn as she goes through every boxing punch, American boxing punch, or all the 12 punches, 13 punches that I do. And we're gonna do it with Tai Chi mechanics. So we're doing boxing with Tai Chi mechanics. That means breath work and visualization and slowing ourselves down to speed up our perception, to speed up the information, speed up our awareness of the information that we're receiving so we can make better decisions with it. So,
should we get it back?
Yeah, definitely go get it back. Yeah, it's good. So what that means, we're gonna do warm up with some Qigong and some other Tai Chi movements as usual. Why do we do Tai Chi for action choreography? Like why? And the answer to that question is always the same. It is, again, about slowing yourself down to speed up your perception so that you can do all of your techniques with greater precision, which matters when you're executing a punch for whatever reason, especially on camera. So, and when you're working with partners, you always have to have that awareness with your partners to keep them safe. So, and that is not just for fight choreography, that's for all martial training in general. So if you don't do Tai Chi, if you don't do any Qigong, any of these exercises that forget about going to do Tai Chi with a Tai Chi master and all that stuff. That's great, that's awesome. If you do that, that resonates with you, I highly recommend it. You do not have to do that. If you simply take any movement that you do, of any martial art that you do, any of them, and just slow it down so that you're really aware of your breath work and the visualization, like what are you thinking and what is your intention with the punch? So if I'm punching, I want my force to go into the object that I'm hitting. So if I slow myself down and I really make sure that I'm getting the full extension of my body, but not full extension to the point where I'm putting myself in danger. And for an example, I'm not hyperextending my arm or straightening my arm all the way and getting myself in a precarious situation where I can get my arm locked and potentially hyperextended or broken. You don't want to do that. So like in Kung Fu, a lot of times you'll stop or lock the arm before you fully extend. So you won't fully extend, you'll keep a slight bend in the arm to throw your punch. And that slight bend still has the alignment of the knuckles to the elbow, which is a standard punching mechanic. And some people who do sun punches from Wing Chun, punching with the bottom two knuckles, that same alignment happens here. Punching, boom, aligning the elbow, etc. So, and there are folks who aren't aware of like sun punch mechanics and then say, hey, you can break your knuckles here if you hit with these, that's why you hit with this. That's BS. You can break your knuckles by hitting a thing all the time. So that's how knuckles work. They break if you hit things really hard, which is why boxing gloves are dangerous, because they allow you to hit harder than your body can actually take. So like MMA gloves are a bit more realistic with that versus, let's say, 16-ounce boxing gloves, etc. So I train a lot of times with like 12-ounce gloves, sometimes 14, sometimes 10, but just to like hit bags and always wrapping the hands, etc. But in general, I'll still do my coordination, my conditioning on harder objects to make sure that I'm conditioning my bones to be able to take harder impact. And yeah, even if I used to do this in high school, like I have this little, I'd sit at my desk and just gently hit the desk. But I do it with the breath work visualization, which is what I meant earlier when I said slow down any technique that you do so that you can breathe through it, so that you can visualize the breath going down the arm or the limb into the object. And that's part of moving your attention through the arm. It's not just enough to just hit a thing. You have to move your attention through there. And people may say, oh, what do you mean? Well, if you just stop yourself right now and you put your attention on the tip of your nose, and you listen for your circulation in the tip of your nose, and then you get a little bit more detailed and you listen for the pulse in the tip of your nose. And then you switch the attention to feeling the breath coming in and out of the nose. And then you switch the attention to the temperature of the breath. You've just given yourself an example of what it means to use your attention. So it's not just hitting a thing, it's how you hit it. It's what the intention behind the hit is. How deeply do you want to impact? Are you hitting the chest, or are you hitting the ribs to break the bones, or are you hitting the organs? Karate oftentimes will focus on breaking. So you punch and you punch to break the bones, for example. Kung Fu does not focus on breaking. Kung Fu generally focuses on impacting the organs. So you hit the organs underneath the bones. So those are two different ways to utilize your attention. So these are just some great notes to take into your training, because again, you don't need to go and train with somebody, a Tai Chi master, to learn Tai Chi. That is not how I view Tai Chi. Tai Chi to me is a process. It's an approach to any martial art, any martial movement. That doesn't mean that Tai Chi as a system cultivated by Chinese culture does not have amazing things inside a container. That's what Tai Chi actually is. There's amazing concepts inside of a container, but you can pull those concepts and use them for your own thing. You don't necessarily need to go deep into the system to pull these concepts out. Take any technique, slow it down, breathe through it, be conscious of your breath work and your visualization through those techniques, whatever they are, and your intention behind each technique, what you want to do. And remember that every technique is just a shape, and every shape can be utilized for different intentions. So I might use this shape to keep someone away from me, which is ward off, kind of like push somebody back. I may use this shape to hook someone's arm and hook their elbow and crank their arm up. I may use this shape to, boom, throw a hook. It's all the same shape, different intentions, and therefore my breath work and my visualization shift based on what I've chosen. So now we're going to get into it. 7:31, so we'll finish by 8:30. So we're going to do some Tai Chi to warm up, because we always do that, and it's the right thing to do for what we do. And I highly recommend it for you too.
Can you show at the end? Can you show me how to do the throat?
I don't really know.
Okay, never mind.
So, I'm happy to experiment. Imaginary string lifts you from the top of the head. Cascading relaxation all the way down into the heels. What that means is that you're going to put your attention, you're going to move your attention level by level, vertebrae by vertebrae. And you're going to soften. Just keep moving the attention down. And it should feel like you're dangling. That imaginary string helps your posture. Your posture should feel as if you're dangling from heaven. So you imagine a string from the top of your head, and you dangle all the way through the body as if each vertebra is getting farther and farther away from the last, down to the hips. The hips balance themselves out. So if you find yourself with some unnecessary tension in this area, do your best to feel that lift, release that tension as much as possible without having to hang from a bar, etc. And then soften the knees and soften the ankles, and allow the weight to go to the center of each heel. And the reason we're doing that is because there's a difference between the heel weight and what that means for people around you, what that means for you, the passive heel weight, versus the ball of the foot, which is more aggressive, and the big toe, which is forward energy. So you're running, boom, goes to the ball of the foot and big toe. Like you're throwing a punch, rum, you're throwing that punch, ball of the foot, big toe. But right now, we want to be very passive and calm. Mouth closed, tongue on the ceiling of the mouth, special attention on the middle finger of each hand. Again, the fingers and the toes are going to be facing the same direction. Your feet are shoulder width apart. Inhale, using the belly, or the base diaphragm, as it's sometimes referred to as. More specifically, 3 finger lengths below your belly button. That's the focal point, the lower dantian. And when I say the belly button, I don't mean the surface of your skin. I mean the deepest point on that level of the point we just identified. So 3 finger lengths below your belly button, or 2 inches. And then imagine the centermost point at that level of your body, and you're going to inhale into that area. And you're going to visualize with your eyes open. Inhale, drawing the breath in as a color with your mouth closed, tongue on the ceiling of the mouth. that area, the lower dantian. Exhale, wash the color down the arms, the palm and fingertips. So you're inhaling, you're giving the sensation of breathing a color, which gives a vehicle for your attention, trains your mind, and you exhale, bring the color up and wash it down the arms, each arm about an inch or two beyond the palms and fingertips. To connect that concept back to the kung fu style of hitting, of bursting or impacting internal organs upon a strike, that breath work and visualization, moving the idea of the strike or the breath through the palm about an inch or two beyond, is helpful in achieving that type of impact, that more kung fu stylist going beyond the bones into the organs, versus the karate style. And that's not saying one is better than the other. There's two different ways of utilizing one's intention to have impact over physical reality being a person that you might be hitting. So inhale to the belly, exhale, wash down. Soften the hands. Now exercise 2, inhaling up. This is called uplifting heaven. Lifting my breath up. Exhale, wash the breath to the palms and fingertips. And then inhale, spinning the fingers up. Interlace, exhaling down, soften the knees. And then inhaling up. Stretching out of the hips, out of the shoulders. Exhaling down. Now when you exhale down, it's not just letting the breath out through your nose, you're actually washing the visualization down the arms and down the legs. It's as if there's a sun, a big sun, like a solar star in your lower dantian. That's the color that you've gathered from the breath, and then when you exhale, those are the rays of light blasting down the arms and legs. So inhale. Up, exhale out, inhale up, 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 interlace your fingers, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. And I give a lot of details when I do this stuff with you guys, so imagine if I didn't, you would just see a guy doing this. Inhaling and exhaling. That's without all the details. The details are massively important, but it's okay to not utilize them. There's still a bunch of health benefits that happen here just by doing these types of movements. But again, if you want to take this stuff seriously as a martial artist and apply it to other martial arts so that you have an edge, because that's what Tai Chi will give you. It will give you an edge for other martial arts. I think it's there are certain things that are unique specifically to Tai Chi, and those things are massively important. But the reality is that simply having the ability to slow yourself down and speed up your perception of any movement is a form of mastery. So if you can adapt that to any style, you're just going to have higher quality information from your body than your opponent is getting from their body. So do that about 4-6 times. And now, we're going to bring the hands just below the buttocks, pressing your fingers to the backs of the legs as if you're pressing these fingers like buttons, shooting them in, pressing them in. And we're going to inhale, bring one hand in front. This is from the 8 pieces of brocade. It's a Qigong exercise, inhaling up. Everything we've done so far is Qigong exercises. Inhaling up, 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 breath lifting the wrist, and the other hand is pushing down. Notice that I'm not extending like this. I'm not shifting, pushing one down so that I adjust my obliques. I'm actually doing my best to keep my spine as centered as possible so that I'm extending through the pillar-like structure of my spine. Exhaling, allowing the hand to float down. And then switching sides, replacing, again, those fingers jabbing just below the buttocks, and inhaling, breath lifts the wrists up. Inhale even deeper, turning the fingers at the collarbone. My eyes are looking in the same direction, my fingers are pointing, and the heel of my palm is being lifted up. That's one specific intention. I'm being pulled up The other hand is pushing down. It's a different intention. It's different to be lifted up than it is to pull down, to be pushing down. And remember, extending through the pillar of the spine, exhaling down. Now we'll do that without any talking on either side. Remember the concepts here. When you have the ability to do clearly different intentions, have two clearly different intentions at this same time, both being executed at the same time, you're going to expand your own ability to program your body to do things. So, I'm inhaling, my palm is being lifted up, being pulled up, and I feel that sensation completely. And then I add to it a new vector, and I push down from the side. Push down, lift up. Exhaling down. So imagine how that can help you when you're strategizing and grappling or in any other martial experience you might have. Helps a lot, trust me. If you don't trust me, just Google some of the matches. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And we're going to sink with that downward pressure. Widen your stance. It's called a half horse stance. It's shoulder width and a half apart. So you have your shoulder width, and then you've added half another shoulder width. Hollow fists resting right on your hips. More specifically, the hip bones right here. Just connect the hands. These hollow fists are very similar to meditation kind of posture, but it's a fist that you can squeeze at any given time for impact, but you're very gentle. And once you make that connection, soften everything between the wrist and the shoulder. That means connect, boom, everything softens out. With that connection, imaginary string, re-engage it. The tailbone falling straight down to the ground as if there's a weight on it. Relaxed chest, open but relaxed. Inhale to the belly. Exhale, pelvis rotates on the femur so the chest becomes parallel to the ground. Inhale, breath pulls you to the side and up, eyes in the belly button. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. The breath should feel like a rope that you're climbing, and then exhaling, releasing that rope. Again, all this stuff is self-generating. You have to be able to self-generate these experiences, that experience of climbing the breath and exhaling down. And that concept of self-generating might feel foreign at times, but just think about some things that people might do to generate a sensation. Inhaling up, exhaling down. For example, like drinking alcohol. Someone may think that they need to drink alcohol to have fun. And then they drink alcohol, and then maybe they've had some fun. And so, how could they have gotten that same fun without the alcohol? Well, it's like, how free are you as a person? Can you activate, release inhibitions without the need for a substance? Can you self-generate an experience for yourself? It's just, these are questions about essentially your strength. And obviously this calls into question a lot of cultural issues that we might have, but the concept of being able to generate for yourself any particular experience is an important one. It should be utilized every day so you can essentially have more command and control over how you experience reality. Inhaling up. Exhale, wash the color of the palms of fingertips. Inhaling up. Interlace, exhaling down. So everything we do, I'm not sure what you mean by the belly one. Sure. Everything we do here, this is Friday nights we do stunt work for Justice for Hire. And I didn't say this before, but of course you can join our show, Justice for Hire, from justiceforhire.app. There it is right there, Justice for Hire. It's a show that we're making with the community. Anyone can be part of the cast. It's like Uber for heroes, hire a hero or become one and get paid. We have a global community creating the show with us. It's awesome. But it's a martial arts show. Like, there's a lot of action in it. There's a lot of non-martial arts stuff, but there's a lot of martial arts in it. And martial arts, real martial arts, has implications that go throughout your entire life. It's about building character. It's about having a perspective and being strong and standing up for what you feel is right. And being open to other people's ideas and using the fighting side of it as a last resort to promote human life rather than to destroy it. So it's really, really important to look at these concepts, the small concepts, even the concept of self-generation of an experience that I was just saying, and see those implications throughout how they can be applied to other areas of one's life. And the more time you spend on things like this, on concepts like this, any martial concept, the more you're going to see how it relates to other areas of your life. So let's go into another half horse stance, and we're going to do inhaling up, exhaling down, and this is called Jade Rabbit Watches the Moon. So this is actually the fourth exercise from the 12 yin set of Neigong. Neigong is like weightlifting for intention. So these are isolation exercises that help you generate circulation in various areas of the body. Promotes lots of health benefits, but also lots of martial benefits. And we'll get into the details here. So I'm standing up on the inhalation. There's two stages of inhaling. Inhaling 1, inhaling 2. Exhaling 1, 2 stages, exhaling 2. I inhale, draw the breath in as a color. I inhale even deeper and that color gets very bright in my belly. Eyes open. Exhale, I condense that color, making it more potent, and then I exhale it deeper and I flatten it in my belly, making room for more. And I fill up again. It gets brighter. Condense it, make it more potent, and then I flatten it. And there's a faith or intention behind this, programmed into the movement, that every time you take a breath, you're getting stronger. My family's Tai Chi Sifu master used to say that you have to think of this exercise as stacking bags of rice with every breath, and you're making room for more. You're flattening one bag, bring it into the container, flatten it, and then grab another one. Bring it into the container, flatten it, grab another one.
You know, in meditation when we like
Stay seated now.
Scan every cell and bring it white light to like a healing measure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this exercise to me feels like it's like a physical manifestation of it because it's like you're pressing the condensed energy down like from the bottom of your body all the way up, and it's like clarified.
I followed you until the last thing you just said. You said pressing the condensed energy down all the way up. Can you
like you're pressing it down
that?
and stacking it, like you said, and so it's like dense energy from your toes all the way up to the top of your head if you stack it tightly.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Autumn just gave a visualization that she contemplated on her own, and it's very important for every single person to contemplate these visualizations on their own. So, and it's also not necessarily, I asked her a question. I said, can you clarify what you mean? It doesn't matter if I understand what she says or not. It doesn't matter if someone else understands what I say or not, if these exercises benefit me. The intention, but I'm saying this so that you can feel free to articulate it however feels right for you, as long as you feel good while you're doing these things. I now understand what Autumn's saying, but the understanding is not necessarily required for another person. You have to get this on your own for it to benefit you, and then that's great. And if you can share it with other people and you can choose the language that helps people absorb it, that's also fantastic, but it's not a prerequisite to doing any of these exercises. So, and to give one more analogy, I'm going to stay seated. The whole concept is recharging a battery. This, of any Neigong exercise, this is like plugging in your phone and just charging it up. You're literally the bars on your phone. Every time you take a breath, imagine you get more bars. And remember, when you exhale, you're not releasing the energy intentionally. You're programming yourself to stack the color. You've given yourself this visualization, drawing that color into the belly with the breath. As you exhale, you're seeing the visualization. Even though the breath goes out, the visualization stays in. So what does that imply? That implies that the visualization and the breath are not the same thing. They're actually two different things. And you're actually training, you're using one to train the other. You're using the breath to train the visualization trains your intention, and once you have strong intention, that means you have strong willpower. So to be able to generate with your will is a massive, massive, massive skill set. So let's do one more. And this, because we're going to do boxing, is super important. This is White Crane spreads his talons. This is a Neigong exercise, massaging the scalp, the temples. And you exhale, push forward, in and up. Gentle grab, inhaling. Massage the temples. We're going to get a little closer. Exhale, pushing forward, in and up. That means don't push out and don't push just up. You're pushing forward. Notice my hands are getting closer together as I push out because I'm pushing up and through a person. When you get into a person, boom, push them up and over their own hips. That's part of the mechanics here. So exhaling, push forward, in and up. Gentle grab. This is a crane fist. Crane fist. All the fingers can be touching if you want, or you can just touch the index and middle finger, or just the index finger, whichever you like. But the concept is here, gentle grab, and then the breath pulls the wrists back. The fingers stay like they're sticking to, like you're pulling something sticky and something that's kind of taut, like hard to pull. I've never really eaten taffy. I think I've had salt and water taffy, but that's the way my master, our family seafood Tai Chi master, would describe it, is that when you exhale, you're pushing something heavy, and when you inhale, here, it's as if you're pulling taffy, something very sticky and tough to pull, and you do it all in the mind. Again, self-generating these experiences of pulling that weight. Why is this helpful for boxing? Look at my shoulder blades. When I exhale, I push my shoulder blades all the way through. Protracting all the way through. So they disappear, which helps to open up the valves, as it's called in Tai Chi, so that the circulation shoots through to the palms. So when I throw a punch, especially if you're an American boxer, you might find yourself, rightfully so, picking up your shoulder to protect your chin, obviously. But when you punch, sometimes you may not fully extend. You may turn the hips, you may turn the waist, and yeah, that's great, but you may not get that full extension. Notice that my shoulder just dropped and went forward. Even if it was still high, look how much more forward it is. This saved me so much when I first started fighting Sancho. Sancho is a combination of boxing, kickboxing, and Mongolian wrestling. This gave me so much. Look at the extra reach that I get from pushing the shoulder blade forward. All that extra reach. So you want to be able to train yourself on the bag, and with your drill partners, you want to be able to train yourself to really fully extend and feel comfortable. And this is part of full body power. Remember, a small movement with full body power can be more powerful than a big swing. Like a big swing where someone's using mostly shoulder, like someone who doesn't train at all, like a big bolo movie kind of punch. You can really hurt your arm doing this, especially if you're not used to punching. So this isn't full body power. This is full body power. Just a little. Not necessarily full extension, but my hip and my waist and my rotation of my wrist and my shoulder blade all happening at the same time generates all these small circles, add up to the centrifugal force. And you get more power in a shorter amount of space. So this little movement here is going to train you. Let's stay seated for the next 6. It's going to train you to feel that softness, that opening in the back, but also it's great for strengthening your back as well. This is one of the exercises that I would do all the time, but I had a little basketball injury in high school. Not because I played basketball or I was good at it, but because I felt all good at my martial arts that I could play some basketball in gym class, and then I pulled a muscle on my back, and I had to do this a lot more than I normally did, and 2 other exercises. All right, so now let's start opening our hips. We're gonna exhale, shift to one side. We spent some good time on some Neigong today. Open up, exhale down. I'm gonna step back a bit so you can see more of the technique. Inhale up, open the hips, exhale down. If you follow us on our Friday night trainings a lot, you'll notice that we do this a lot. And if you weren't doing this Tai Chi style, you just do this. It's like, I'm opening up, I'm doing a check. That's great. But look at all the stuff that you're missing when you just do this. If you can't do it slow, you probably can't do it properly fast. That's a common saying in many martial arts. So let's take the Tai Chi approach to this and soften one hip into the groin, into your heel. So notice, if you were to draw a diagram on me right now, you would see the pressure go here and here. And now inhaling up, 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 as the weight shifts to the ball of the foot and the big toe, I lift my foot up. So now I brought pressure forward and up, and I exhale, I drop it down. My heel touches, I shift from one foot into the heel of the other foot, and then I start softening the hip into the groin. Inhaling up, exhale down. So now I have a lot more awareness and control over where on my foot the weight is distributed. Heel, ball of the foot, big toe. Those are called the 3 nails in Tai Chi. Exhale, heel, ball of the foot, big toe. And not, when I say in Tai Chi, that does not actually mean like generally in Tai Chi. There's lots of different Tai Chi schools, there's lots of different approaches to weight distribution, etc. That's a Grandmaster William C.C. Chen concept, and I coached his team, the U.S. Tai Chi push hands team. It's also important to note that Grandmaster Chen has been known for many years to produce the best Tai Chi fighters. He was even, Bruce Lee challenged his master. It's like a whole thing. And so anyway, that's another story. I'll show that another time. So exhaling down, ball of the foot, big toe. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And now we're going to do a little Muay Thai, inhaling up. Notice that I'm pointing my fingers outward. I'm essentially doing this exercise. Up, boom, in, this knee, bang, side knee. But instead of doing the side knee, we're going to warm ourselves up. And then another variation of this concept to warm up the hips is just bringing up, reversing. We just did this, 1, 2, and then you reverse it, 1, 2. But instead of doing that, we're making it a little more fun, a little more martial. We're going to reach the opposite way from the knee coming up, and exhale, bring our body back to center, to our center line. Inhale, reaching out either way, exhale back to center. Inhale, reaching out either way, exhale back to center. Inhale, reaching out either direction, exhale. Big shout out to all, I repost all these things on YouTube. Our Tai Chi, our Justice for Hire account is on YouTube is really not nearly as active as my Tai Chi account on YouTube. So Jan's Tai Chi on YouTube, I post 3 times a day. I do not do that at all on Justice for Hire, but you're going to start seeing a big change on Justice for Hire where I am going to start posting 3 times a day, and it's going to be a lot of our stunt training stuff, and then of course the series and other things as well. So everything will, my YouTube channels are very dense. There's a lot of stuff on there. My Tai Chi YouTube channel has thousands of hours at this point of content. Is that correct? Is that true? Or is it hundreds? No, it's this. My thing's thousands. Thousands of hours. So there's a lot of stuff on there that you can train with. And thanks to all the folks who watch this on YouTube after I stream on TikTok, because we just had a million views on my Tai Chi YouTube channel. So shout out to everybody who watches that stuff. So thank you. Okay. Inhaling up. Exhaling down, and then 2 more. Big breath in. Exhale, wash it out. And 1 more. From the side so you can see the technique. Big breath. Exhaling down. For those who follow on a regular basis, that's the 4-stage exhalation version. I won't explain that now, but what I will explain now is the 13 punches of boxing that Autumn's about to do on this bag right here. So, we're going to do the boxing form. If you have not done the boxing form, there's actually several boxing forms. So, boxing forms are fun. I highly recommend any martial experience that you're doing. Ideally, you have a kata or a form that you can repeat on your own. If you only train your martial arts with a partner, it's great to have a partner, but I highly recommend making sure you spend time by yourself in a meditative way, doing these movements and really getting into the zone, critiquing yourself, doing it for memory, for technique, and for enjoyment. Those 3 things. My father says, and if you want to master any form, do it once for memory, once for technique, once for enjoyment. I did my forms this morning like 9 times under that concept. So, hands up. We have whatever your boxing hands are. So if you don't know, or if you don't have a boxing stance, you're going to have your feet. Your feet in general in boxing, actually you stand inside of a box. So you imagine you have, and this is the school that I've been taught. There's always different schools. So imagine you have a corner of a box that is equal and distant on all sides. So let's say it's a 1 foot by 1 foot, 1 square foot. So I have the bottom right-hand corner. If you're left-handed, you'll fight what's called southpaw, which is your right hand forward. If you're right-handed, you'll fight what's called orthodox, which is your left hand forward. So the power hand, whatever your hand you are in American boxing, is in the back. So that square for orthodox, I'm going to have my left foot on the far left corner of the box and my right foot on the back right corner of the box. You imagine a box and you stand on there. So with that said, you don't want to keep the chest and shoulders square. You're in a square, but you don't want to keep the chest and shoulders square to forward, whatever your forward is. When I say square, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4 little box or rectangle. So you want to turn the body just a bit so that the punches slide off of you. You don't want to turn so much that you hide the power back here and you have to step out. So you'll see a lot of like Taekwondo kind of fighters, point fighters especially, they'll fight like this, they'll fight on this line, do that kind of stuff. So God bless them. I don't want to make fun of anybody because honestly, point fighting, everything has its place. Some people see my sport of Tai Chi push hands, they don't know what they're looking at, so they think it's people like slapping each other or pushing each other. They don't realize the benefit of the technique. So I don't want to take away from anyone's stuff. But the reality is, there's going to be a problem here if you adapt this to doing combinations from multiple sides. So, feet on the corner, hands up, body slightly turned forward, which means that you're going to lead more like this. Your eyes, chin slightly tucked. Your eyes, if you had an opponent, would be on the triangle of the chin and shoulders. That's where your eye line goes. You do not look at the opponent's eyes at all. You look at their chin, and you look at the shoulders and everything down. Chin to shoulders is the triangle, and then anything down from there. Don't look at the eyes. Not necessary. Keep the hands up. The back hand is going to cover the temple or the chin. I recommend the temple because that's a button. You get knocked out. The other hand, the nose and your eye line forward. Remember that triangle we just talked about? In front of that triangle, you'll have your crosshairs. So that triangle is the target on Autumn or on the person you're looking at, but you have to have your crosshairs. Think of your hand as the crosshair. Your hand and your foot, lead foot, are going to be pointing at the center of that triangle. So wherever I move, this crosshair is right here. Notice that it's right in front of you. I'm keeping it, boom, I can jab out. So it's super important. So these little movements, I have my little box that I'm standing in. I have this forward. This is my crosshair. Whether I sidestep one way or the other way, I can still step forward and throw this hand into the crosshair. It's the crosshair, and I can touch the center of the target. The right hand as well should be able to throw right to the center of your target. So obviously if you need to hit to the side or something like that, that's fine too. But this is some basics, and now we're gonna go into the concept of the Tai Chi breathing for the 12 punch or 13 punches. So 1, jab. I'm going to inhale on the jab. 2, exhaling on a cross. 3, inhaling on a jab. 4, exhaling, I'm sorry, not on a jab, on a hook. Exhaling on another hook. 5, inhaling on an uppercut. 6, exhaling on an uppercut. 7, inhaling on a body shot. 8, exhaling on a body shot. Bring it back. 9, inhaling on an overhand. Step back. 10, exhaling on a low straight punch. 11, exhaling on another low straight punch. And then 12, so it's 12 punch form. Inhaling as the hand comes up the middle, hitting under the chin. It looks like this. Like that. So, and then you come back up. And I actually play this both, you can reset, or you can do it on the other side as well. But today, we're going to keep you on your left. You're on your left hand forward, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're training. Okay, cool. So we're going to keep it on the left, and we're just going to reset. So,
Are we gonna go one by one?
yeah, we're going to go one by one. We're going to do that form one more time, and then we're going to go one by one. So we're going to take each one of those punches, and we're going to work them probably 100 each. So that'll be 1,200 punches for all of them. And we're going to do it slow. So it's going to be great. It'll actually take up the rest of our time. So, we're going to take a little bit more. So, we'll figure that. Anyway, hands up. Stand inside the box. Chin tucked. Body turned. Target forward. And now, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, hook. Exhale, hook. Inhale, uppercut. Exhale, uppercut. Inhale, body shot. Exhale, body shot. Bring it back, cover. Inhale, overhand. Exhale, body straight. Inhale, body straight. Even deeper. And then reset. Boom. Cool. There we go. So that's your 12 punch form. And I have videos on this you can check out. So there's on my TikTok, they're on the YouTube channel. So now we're actually going to apply this here. So why do we inhale on, I'm just going to put on our gloves. Why do we inhale? So the inhalation, what we're doing, if you guys are aware of where the thinking is coming from this. This is very unique. I don't know anyone who teaches this. So I've taken Grandmaster William C.C. Chen's style of boxing, which is really crazy. He has reverse style, what's called reverse breathing. He does reverse breathing Tai Chi. So every push where you would normally exhale, if you're a Kempo person, you know the concept of marriage of gravity, where you drop and you push use the momentum of the gravity to help deliver power forward. So rather than dropping and striking, he inhales and strikes rather than exhale and strike. I've learned in every other style to exhale and sink on strikes. But for Grandmaster William C.C. Chen, he inhales. And the difference is that, and I don't know if this is where the lesson really starts, the difference is in filling up the concept. The mechanic is totally different than the exhalation. So we are going to have that back right hand be the exhaling hand. That's going to be your more traditional style of sink and strike, sink and strike, sink and strike, sink and strike, sink and strike. All that's going to happen on the right side. On the left side, everything is going to be, except for one punch, the overhand is going to be an inhalation. But on the left hand, we're going to try this wonderful inhaling concept. And what that means is you're going to inhale and fill up your tricep. Remember the whole color visualization we did earlier when you were pulling the color to the belly? You're going to really feel that stream go in through the fingers into the arm, the tricep, and fill up as you shift your weight to the ball of the foot on the lead leg. And you're going to feel the weight shift, connect, and then release. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. This is a jab. It looks like a hook. And it looks like a long hook, but you can straighten that out even more. Inhale. And you want to do this, I don't want to shoot hard, but you want to do this enough to feel, to start feeling it. So you do it a few times slow, and then, let me slide this over so you guys can see while I'm doing her work.
And this is the first punch that we're on, right?
This is the first punch, this is the jab. So, let me just watch, yeah, inhale. So, pause right here. So you see that you have to hyperextend to actually make contact. So that means take a half step forward. You don't want to lengthen your arm too much. You want to keep this slight bend. And you want to have the two knuckles making the contact. And when you make that contact, again, this is the reverse breathing concept. You should feel like a statue. And whatever's in front of you, it's as if a statue is growing. Think of like a plant growing, except it's a statue. Just contemplate this for a second. And whatever's in front of it is going to get, it doesn't matter what's in front of it, that statue is going to be created. This shape is going to be created. That's how the reverse breathing punches work. So, this is really what changed my striking, because my hands, I always felt like I was strong, but I couldn't get enough power out of them. And then when I learned this reverse breathing striking, I fought Ian Morgan, who was our first choreographer for Justice for Hire, my father's first champion martial artist and fighter. He's a tank, and I finally could stop him with my punches, and it was because of me changing the idea behind my strikes. This solid pressure that I wanted to feel, I wasn't feeling on the exhalations. But when I would inhale and create this shape, I was like, oh, now I can feel my body, the bone structure, and the musculature supporting all that pressure that I'm actually getting. So you want to have a sense of supporting the weight of whatever you're connecting to upon impact. So,
and I can feel how you can't do that with your arm extended too much.
Exactly.
Because it almost breaks.
Exactly. And so there's a difference between poking a needle and like crashing through. And so think about this as crashing through. Your jab should feel like it crashes through when you want it to. That doesn't mean that we don't do that quick strike jab. You still want to be able to do that. But this is not what we're training right now. What we're training is this particular power jab. So go for it.
Exercise do 100 times?
Yeah, exactly. And let me know if you guys have any thoughts, questions, or ideas while we're doing this as well, because I want to make sure that everyone gets a benefit from this kind of training. It's really great stuff. Another note while you're doing this, keep going, is going to be the sense of going to sleep and waking up. Going to sleep is a downward concept, and waking up is the upward concept. That's why we're inhaling when we're waking up here. So I'm adding a new concept here. The going to sleep is that before you throw this punch, you're not just going back and forth. You're going down and up. So right now you're moving back and forth. Think about, and don't even go back and down. Stay on the front leg. Stay on the front leg, 70% of your weight. Exhale down, wind up a little, and then inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. And try to do it in here and less with the head. So, a little wind up. Very subtle, super subtle. Good stuff. And a little less bending and straightening of the knee, and a little bit more of the same work in your hips and your groin. So that means that the dropping is happening with the pelvis rotating the femur a bit to do right here. All right.
Can you show me on my head?
Just let me be your mirror for a second. So we're here. Look at me.
Mm-hmm.
So look at that. So notice that my leg is not pumping
So
too
you're
much.
going into the lead hand? Okay.
Yeah. So it's as if it's almost like I'm dropping down and then inhaling up. Exhaling down, inhaling up. That's great. That's great. And you want to do your best to keep that 70% of the weight forward. Keep your back heel up. It's another thing. We were talking about standing inside the box with the back leg back. The back leg on the, if you have fighting orthodox, your right foot is back. And the right heel is up. Soften this knee and lift that right heel. There you go. Keep going.
It was up the whole time.
It's touching down. It's okay. Go for it. And notice that when you pull the left back, you're actually setting up for your right.
Okay, that's 100.
Cool. Now let's do the cross. So from here, exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. So pause. Throw. Good. Turn. So you have to turn this heel, pivot the heel all the way, and extend. And if you find, so look at all, your shoulder blade isn't pushing forward all the way yet. So if it's not, maybe you have to take a half step back. Cool. And make sure that it doesn't straighten all the way here. So, and make sure that you get the two knuckles there. There you go. Keep your head. Turn. Look at my face today. Look how my nose is lined up with my shoulder. So if I need to, super important concept, if I'm throwing this punch and I need to protect my chin, I can always lift my shoulder. I won't, if I'm fighting bare knuckle, this is real. If I'm fighting bare knuckle, I will be very quick. It's very un-Tai Chi of me, but I'll be very quick to lift my shoulders up, because the reality is that someone's hand, and we've done a lot of this with our cats as well, the folks who are more like fighters, that hands will slip in and hit you in the chin or in the eye or in the temple, and so you really want to protect yourself a lot. So you want to be ready. You want to practice relax. You don't want to practice. I do not recommend practicing with the tension in your shoulders up. What I recommend is being very ready to lift the shoulders, that they're soft enough, relaxed enough to be able to react in any situation. In other words, that if you're training bare knuckle, you know, hey, there's not gloves that are going to protect most of my face. I actually have to cover more surface area, and therefore I'm going to need to make a little adjustment. Those are things that you should be nimble enough in your martial practice to be able to make those adjustments based on the situation at hand. But make sure your knees bent. Great. And good.
Something feels off.
Well, right now you're fighting tall. That's a note, which is fine. But you could widen your stance a bit if you'd like. What else are you feeling that might feel off?
It feels like I can't move all the way.
Okay. Go throw it again. Pause. Okay. So let's take she says she feels like she can't move all the way. So let's take your big toe and turn it in just a little bit to face here. Take the pressure off for a second. Great. And now let's straighten your spine upward. Okay. So instead of leaning into the punch, let's get the torque all the way going, and full extension. Great. Hand up. Great. So now let's lean a little bit more with hip power. And that doesn't mean fall into it, that means turn the hip. Cool. And now let's feel how turning the hip connects to turning the waist, and feel how turning the waist connects to the shoulder blade, and how the shoulder blade should be pushing through the back. And it
feels like this leg is stopping me.
Well,
I can feel the tension in my knee.
Okay, so that's great now. So you could feel tension in your knee. Show me where you feel the tension.
It doesn't hurt. It just feels like I can't move that side of my body all the way.
Okay, so let me 1, inhale, 2, exhale. When you say tension in your knee, are you feeling tension here right now?
No, it's like when you have me go that much with my hip and my foot is like static and like.
Look at your knee right now. See how straight your knee is? So you do have to bend the knee a bit, and that's why the level. So concept level is that your levels here, you're fighting, right? You're establishing the eye line for your opponent right now. So we're fighting. I'm establishing an outline for you. If I want to change, if I'm constantly doing this, I'm probably doing it unconsciously, and I'm probably doing it in a pattern. So if I'm changing my level and I'm not conscious of my changing of my level, that means that whatever I'm not conscious of is probably happening in a pattern, and the opponent, once they catch that pattern, is going to take advantage of it. So you keep your level intentional. I'm here, I have my leg bent. My level is intentional. I'm looking at the triangle from chin to shoulder right now. If I want to change that level, if I want to slip, or if I want to change that level, it's intentional. So for you, find how intentional you can be with your stance.
So I didn't feel the restriction there.
Okay, so then just try to bring it over here. And like to just give you a more specific note, just keep the knee bent a little more. That's a more specific note.
Okay.
Go for it. And crosses in general are going to hold you back. This is not the full power.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. That's why Bruce Lee fought with his power hand forward. Bruce Lee fought power hand forward. He was right-handed. He had his right hand forward. Wait, was he right hand? Yeah, he was right hand. Power hand forward, boom, and he liked to feel the full release of that right hand rather than the restriction of the cross. But that doesn't mean that a cross is, there's a whole bunch of science behind American boxing, and so I like leveraging the science of boxing. It's really great. Cool. And really not just contact back, inhale up. Ooh.
This is an exhale, right?
Yep. Inhaling, going up, exhale down. Shout out to Nick and Patrick also. They were supposed to be here tonight. They're home with the flu. I don't know if they're watching right now, but I love you guys on the JFH account. So Nick and Patrick, what they're doing with their Midnight Noir character is so cool in Justice for Hire. You can ally or rival Midnight Noir on justiceforohire.app, of course, with all the other heroes and villains on our cinematic social networks. That's pretty cool. And of course, check out Real World, which is our company that's building this technology so that we can all make movies and shows together, and Justice for Hire is our very first show. So check it out. We want to have more genres. We want to have sci-fi, horror, fantasy, all this other stuff, and all movies that we make together as a global community, movies and shows. So Justice for Hire is our first one. So get well soon, Nick and Patrick. Love you guys.
Is this better?
It's good. Think about if this is the chin, keep hitting the chin. Boom. Cool. Even with the dropping down, keep hitting the chin. Good. Good stuff. You at 100 yet?
75.
Wow. Okay. Good stuff. Another big note, guys, is that I've been working on Justice for Hire, the story so far, and this is a big release that we're going to have this year. I've actually taken the entire year so far to just work on this. So, you good? So it's going to show all the stuff we've been working on for 5 years with the series. So it's really, really cool. All right, so now hooks. So the hooks on a bag like this, you may want to adjust the body a little bit. You have to get on the side of the bag. And think about this as the head. So it's like, obviously the head's not going to be all the surface area, so in other words, if I hit here, it's I may have to take a little step off. And I always take a little step off when I need to. So here, exhale down, inhale up. Yep. And so notice the wind-up. So I exhale down, inhale up. And it's all pelvis rotating on femur and hips make the adjustment. Inhale up. Good stuff. And now when you do this, you want to soften. One of the great things to train yourself with is softening the your guard position so it's not tense. You don't want to tense or stick out the guard position. So you want to keep this soft and growing. Good stuff. And try to have less movement in the knee cap. So you're not going back, remember you're going down. And remember this is gonna pivot. This is gonna pivot as part of your wind-up. And then inhale up and create the structure. Yep, inhale up. And then when you make that connection, try to keep this level and feel the inflation in the tricep rather than the shoulder. Push the shoulder blade forward and create this L shape going through the index and middle finger knuckles here. Straight line for index and middle finger knuckles to the elbow. Feel the tricep, shoulder blade in. Create more space here. Create more space here. Go over top of your chin. Eye on the prize right over there. Cool. So also note that there are multiple ways to throw. Obviously, there's multiple ways to throw any punch. But when you throw these hooks, you can, if you like, you don't have to keep the pressure. This is a standing leg hook. So you can do a back leg hook. So you can wind in and then shift the weight to the other side if you want. If you wanted to.
The other side, like my back?
Your back leg. You can. So you can see. There's just different ways of throwing hooks. And this one is known as a very solid hook. The standing leg hook. So and then you're right back here, so you're not feeling it. Cool.
And after I do the pivot on this part, my foot, does it go back or no?
Just look at my foot.
Yours isn't moving very much in the back.
Yeah, it is moving.
Okay. Well, I was asking like after if the movement happens before I actually punch, can it keep moving after I punch?
You can do anything you want as long as you get the mechanic down. The mechanic I just showed is really like what I'm looking to see. Yeah, good stuff. Keep the knee bent. Keep the knee bent, which is part of building stability in your knee because there's a lot of wobbling going on in your leg right now, and I want you to get hurt. That's why I'm saying this. I'm trying to emphasize it because you're wobbling like this. And so if you slow yourself down and really speed up, just be really aware of what's happening there. Yeah. And maybe you need to get a little closer too. Look how close I was. I have longer arms than you. Look how close my face is to the back.
Okay.
I'm like maybe 6 inches, but I'm like probably 4 inches away from the back. So yeah, you're really training a tight hook. Boom. Grandmaster William C.C. Chen would often do this same hook holding a banana. And the reason he would do it holding a banana, from my understanding, is that he wants to show that the power is not in the squeezing of the fist, but in the structure of the alignment of the bones with the body mechanic that he's showcasing with this particular strike. This is not a common hook body mechanic at all. The concept of a standing leg hook or that solid front weighted leg hook, that's common, but not necessarily with this breathing and body mechanic structure fully. So the little inhalation, being able to coordinate the inhalation. What's going on here? Verify to continue. There we go. Cool. And this is Autumn's first time doing a lot of these specific mechanics. with this level of detail. And so I think it's really important to recognize that when I'm not here, when you're not watching a video like this, when she's on her own, and when you're on your own, to be able to really take these notes and internalize them and explore them for yourself. Exploring these ideas, that's how the innovation happens. That's how you come up with new things, new ways of doing the training, and new ideas, new angles, a new way to articulate them, or deeper insight on a way to articulate what we're already doing. So I highly recommend spending as much time doing this over and over and over again. Guys changing the signs outside. I've never seen anyone do that. There's a theater outside, and someone's changing the actual little letters on the theater. I've never seen someone actually admit to doing that. Notice how you're straightening your knee when you finish. You're straightening your knee or your leg upon impact.
Which one?
Your when you make the impact, big note, when you make impact on any technique, pause and check in on yourself. Look at the structure. And that's why I said to you earlier, make sure that you create some distance. So if my chest is too close, I'll move my chest back so I can push my shoulder blade in, so I can elongate. This is called reaching through the curve. You've heard me, if you're a Tai Chi follower of mine, I've said this a lot, the concept of reaching through a curve. Reaching through the curve means getting, without straightening any part of the body, how can you elongate a curve in any posture, and without necessarily overtly straightening, elongating the curves. And that's how you get really, really whip-like structures of a particular movement. Like, oh man, this I didn't expect that much power or pressure from a particular movement when I was grappling with this guy, when I was doing strikes or whatever. So you want to pause and you want to look, okay, I can push my shoulder forward, I can soften my shoulder, I can move the shoulder blade, let this appear a little bit more, I can drop my hip back, and then I can inhale and inflate more, I push the hip forward. I drop the hip back to push it forward so I can find all those structural adjustments that I need to make. So, next punch, hook, right hook. And this is exhaling, right? Exhale, hook. More of a simple right hook. Yeah, and exactly. I oftentimes step to the other side of the bag just to get the mechanic of my right hook. And this exhalation, this type of right hook is really about whipping it across. That front leg left hook that we were doing, again, very particular style of left hook, was all about staying structured, like a really tight, strong hook without having to turn your body much. Really, really tight. And I'm doing that kind of breath work and breathing just to kind of show you to articulate the intensity. But this right hook, whoosh, whip across the body. And of course I did it a little bit. Whip across the body. I'm dropping the weight, I'm whipping across the body. Notice that my right hand is actually staying in front of my heart. So once I align it with my heart, the rest is in the hips.
I think I need to just be lower in general. Then mine needs more like across the board.
You have to define your
No, I think I do.
So,
like
if you want to, that's great.
Like because it makes it easier to move more expressively.
That's right. Well, and it's also important to note that once you define your level for yourself and you feel comfortable, it's that comfort that's going to allow you to deviate from that.
Well, it allows me to feel more comfortable with most of my weight on the front leg.
Cool.
Because when I'm taller, I don't feel as stable putting as much of my weight.
I totally get it. And I'll fight tall sometimes, and I'll fight tall from here, but I've done this enough, I fought like this enough to realize, oh wow, I feel cool doing this, I feel very expressive doing this, all these things. Now I'm like, you know what, I can do it here. And I feel great about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it for your and so it just takes time. Once I've defined for myself, then I can adapt it to different levels. So go for it, whatever you feel good with. Let's move you a little more to the side. Good. Correct. And now let's make sure. Correct. Yeah, you really want to feel like you're hitting the side of the head of the face right now. And when I said earlier that my hand was aligned with my heart, that's really think of it. Let me correct myself and say more about the center line. So my center line could be my nose, or it could be my heart, or it could be my belly. But the concept is that once I connect to the center line, the rest is in the body mechanic rather than the movement of the shoulder too much. You definitely don't want to put too much emphasis on rotating the shoulder to get your power, because without the rest of the body, you could throw your shoulder out, you just get injuries unnecessarily. It's not, you don't need it. So, align, align. Align. Other side, even if you're doing a similar mechanic on the lead leg, align. Or you can open up and then bring it back to the alignment. Open up, bring it back to the alignment. Take another half step over. Great. And yeah. Think about hitting more here. Right. Yeah. There you go. Cool. Go for it. You feel how it's shifting your body mechanic a little bit? Are you getting more of a push into it?
Yeah.
Rather than bounce back? Okay, so side. You're coming around defenses. Yep. Punching around, so his hands up. Yep, you're getting right past the hand. Good stuff. What number are you on?
70.
Nice, 70. So guys, again, if you are, let me know what style you guys are if you do train martial arts, what style you do. And if you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas on how the slowing down of certain mechanics in your style has benefited you, if you've done this in any way, shape, or form for your style, I'd be very interested to know. Good stuff. Okay, now let's do body shots. So, jab, cross, hook, hook. Actually, uppercuts. The uppercuts Uppercuts can be challenging in a bag. A lot of times people on a bag will say that they don't do their uppercuts like this. They actually won't hit the bag. And they have bags specific for uppercuts where you'll hit the bag like that. And that's great. They'll lay sideways or not just bags, they have other targets. But I like to practice uppercuts on bags because sometimes you don't have anything else to hit. So here we go. So the uppercut, rather than the proper technique here, or even this technique, we're going to adapt this little rolling technique a little bit more, and we're going to boom, punch right in, and just go right up and in, center of the bag, and we're going to inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, yep, and turn the wrist too, so not just a sun punch, wind chunk style, yeah, really go up, lift the chin up, not the opponent's chin, not your chin.
And there's not much movement on this one.
No, there's not much movement. So what I mean by not much movement, I mean that there's not a lot of that, and you're still mechanically doing the same thing over and over and over again for both feet. So it's actually like mechanically, boom, it's very similar what you're doing for both feet. And that's why it can become, so wind up. So here. Drop down, going to sleep, exhale, going to sleep. Inhale, up. Whoa. And I can feel my hip pushing forward into my head. And then I release, exhale, down, and inhale up. And I can feel my hip pushing forward. So I create this L shape, and I'm essentially reaching through the curve, shoulder blade coming in, inhaling through the knuckles, and impact knuckles. So. Good. Aim a little higher. And I'm not training tonight, mostly because, I say this every week, but I got into a car accident last year, so I've been giving myself some recovery time. And pretty much because one of my students won the Tai Chi World Cup in October of last year, a lot of folks have come out to challenge me in a wonderful way, really respectful, loving, good way. But there's been a lot of pressure that I stepped up for, and I put more pressure on my body rather than giving myself the time to heal and relax. And I really just need a 6 to 8 week period to recover, and I just haven't done that. So now I'm actually doing it, and it's great. So I'm not moving much. I'm not hitting the bag much. Even the last several sessions that we've done as a group for Justice for Hire and our group stunt action training, I've moved a lot more than I probably should have moved, and it's just prolonged the healing process. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna chill a little bit more. I'm still training multiple times a day. I'm just doing more recovery work, and it's really cool because I think the opportunity here with the recovery is to recognize that there's areas that I can strengthen and I should strengthen that'll just make me stronger when I'm back at 100%. So I'm like, okay, most of my life I've gotten away because of Tai Chi having unique. Tai Chi gives you unique insight into certain types of movements that will give you unique power. And when you have unique power, you may not necessarily focus on common power. So there's certain common areas of strength that I just never really strengthened because I was like, I'll be fine. I do all this Tai Chi stuff. It's great. And the car accident really just was like, okay, well, you don't have this area of strength here in this part of your body, so you might need you're going to need to recover it more. So I'm like, okay, fine. But I'm learning so much, and I'm really, really grateful. and I made a nice back rehab program for myself based on a bunch of great research I've done. And I make playlists for all this stuff on my Tai Chi YouTube channel. So there's tons of playlists on there that are, as a push hands champ James McConnell said, he's like, Jan, it's like a resource like this. Your channel's a massive resource. There's a lot of stuff on there. If you just look for the back rehab playlist, you'll see a bunch of the great exercises that I've discovered from other great sports doctors, etc., that I've just brought into my Tai Chi and strength training routine, and it's pretty dope. So, yeah, gonna be back beasting out. It's gonna be great. In a calm, awesome way. What number are you on?
80.
Okay. Remember to come up. Everything comes up at the same time. Everything come up, and then everything drop down. So if you find yourself like coming up and then it hits, just soften yourself a little bit more so you can get the full coordination.
Not really sure what you mean.
I mean, so right now, that's a nice way of me saying that you're popping up and then you're throwing a punch. So do it both at the same time. Come up and then a punch. Good stuff. Now stay in your front leg when you wind up. Good stuff. Good stuff. So another note for my Tai Chi community, and this is also for my the folks who want to do grappling style choreography, but this is a small detail, a subtle detail that's important. By nature of Autumn staying very focused on the front leg while doing the wind up, rather than shifting to the back leg, the back hip, staying on the front leg and the front hip for her wind up, that means she can claim space. I talk about claiming space a lot because when someone gives up space, meaning that if I'm grappling with you or somebody, and I'm trying to get this throw here, or I'm trying to push them out of a ring because I might get a point for pushing them out of the ring, if I give up space, it should be intentional. When it's unintentional, you'll see people move like this. And there's all this space given up, and then they come back, but they're not really claiming it. They're just washing in and out of space. So when you do this wind up on the front leg, notice that I've claimed this space here, and when I throw the punch, I'm staying in the space I've claimed. I'm not giving it up. And it's really helpful when you're playing Sancho, which is boxing, kickboxing, and wrestling, and it's fought on a lei tai, which means you can push somebody out of a ring and get a point for it. Or you're doing Tai Chi push hands, which you push people out of a ring to get a point, or you throw them on the floor. So really, really awesome detail in the punching that helps with those other concepts. So you're doing the drop, right? Okay, so now we're doing the exhalation. And exhalation, you just drop down and throw up. Dropping down to throw up. So you're spinning as you go down. Exactly. And you're actually going to hit, so there's not going to be a slide. You're not sliding at all, you're actually hitting. So think about throwing this. It's similar if you do karate to a piston punch. So a piston punch in karate is kind of like a little whip out.
So it's not like this?
So this is the traditional uppercut, right? So this is a full form uppercut reaching to pull fruit off a tree. So what we're doing instead is we're using the bag and we're just changing.
Okay, this wasn't trick, it was like a very...
Yeah, so you want to hit still, and that's why I say imagine the nose right there in the center of the bag. Nose, uppercut. Overhand, nose. So if I'm doing a hook, I'm going to
right
step
now
off.
we're doing more like this, like...
Yep. Good stuff. And then twist the body. When I say twist, step back a little bit and now twist so you have to reach more. Go for it. There you go. Excellent. And when you do things like this, creating your own little circuit, breath work and visualization circuit, super important, super valuable. What I mean by that is like really get into I love personal by myself bag work. No one else around at all. So if you only experience bag work in a class, etc., if that's all you have access to, I totally understand. But if you get the opportunity to be by yourself with no one around, that is where some amazing breakthrough work happens. And really being able to create that exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and just really zoning out on the visualization of the breath work going through the hand into the bag, hitting the center of the bag. You're not just hitting the surface of the bag. Your visualization, autumn, is going to be to the centermost point in the bag. Every time you hit it, every time you exhale, you're pushing your visualization to the centermost point in the bag. Every single time, the centermost point in the bag, the centermost point. Again, that's different than karate, which might try to break through the bag. That's also cool. That's great. That's just not the Kung Fu Tai Chi way of thinking about it. So just slide for autumn. Okay, so it's 8:49. I want to respect the time that you want to get out of here. So, what number are you? Okay.
No, this one's going to move faster. I can also move that a little faster.
So when I was in high school, I would spend 2 hours. Let's see, I do about an hour. No, sometimes I do 2 hours of bag work. Every day after school, 5 days a week. And then when I got to the Shaolin Temple, I started training at the USA Shaolin Temple. I had to, because I had a 2-hour Shaolin training class 2 to 3 days a week, I had to shift that. And I'm grateful for that time because my dad had a bag at his place in New York in the West Village. And it was just such a beautiful meditative experience. And sometimes I hit the bag before going to Shaolin just to get a few rounds in. But I would do mostly, instead of rounds, I would do numbers. I would say I'm going to do 100 of each punch. And I would get, I would start to build up to, maybe 1,000 punches. And I built up to 10,000 punches multiple days a week. And I would say, okay, cool, well, I'm going to do jab. Now I'm going to do cross. Now I'm going to do jab cross, because that is actually, those are different techniques. The jab and the jab cross together, it's a different technique, a different way of thinking. And so being able to just get into the zone. So now we're doing body shots. Inhale, exhale, inhale. So now we're going to change level here. So in other words, this is your standing level. You're going to drop a little bit. Go down, inhale up. Drop down, inhale up. And just the body shots, but also on the body shots, I would do stuff like 1, 2, 1, 2, and I'd move around.
Can you make sure my arms are?
So we're going to do the L punch. So L punch is the uppercut, the hook, the body shot, all the same punch, thrown on a different angle. So that means you're going to need to get a little closer and you're going to need to hit the side. So stand on the side, great, drop down more, good. And now you're going to hit here. Inhale, inflate the tricep.
That low?
Yep, that low. Here.
Is that like one? Or?
No, you're hitting the kidney or the liver or the spleen. So targets, body shot targets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, solar plexus, center, sometimes belly, if you want to, belly is really best when you're timing breath, in my experience. So in other words, someone's breathing, okay, cool, how can I knock the wind out of them? Or they're at the apex of an inhalation or an exhalation, where it's like, and you just can kind of catch them at that moment. That's awesome. But some people really train the belly. Even if they do train the belly, you can still catch them. Sometimes you just have to practice your timing. So. Closer.
What?
Closer. Get closer.
There's no one.
Yeah, hit your head closer. Almost as if you're going to put your head on the back. Dig up. Drop down, wind up. And don't bend the wrist. And now. There you go. So, big note. You don't want to bend your wrists to align with the punch. You don't want to do that. So you don't want to get down and be like, I'm going to hit over here, so I'm going to bend my wrist. So instead, you're going to maintain that line, that imaginary line from the knuckles through the elbow to the elbow so you can align your bones. So what that means is that you're going to program your body over and over again through repetition, this like Autumn's doing right here. You're going to program, and you can find her on JusticeForHire.app as AK Wonder. You can ally or rival her in the series. So you're going to align the knuckles with the elbow so that no matter what punch you're throwing, whether it's a jab cross, or it's a hook, or it's an overhand, or a body shot, or an uppercut, wherever you're throwing it, the alignment does not change between these two knuckles and the elbow, index and middle finger knuckles and your elbow. It just simply does not change. And when you're throwing at all these different angles, you're going to be able to feel how you need to adjust the rest of your body to make the impact work. So make sure you take time on it to find where that impact works. You're trying to dig up on an angle right now, or maybe even just to the side. There you go. So pause on impact for a second. Inflate, drop your leg. Drop your leg. Good. Inflate, push the hip forward more. Feel the hip connected to the shoulder blade, so that when you push your hip forward, it pushes the back. It goes through your knuckles and pushes the back. Keep that hand off the back, go for it. Drop your level, push the back with your hip. Push the back with your hip. Notice that your wrists are bent, so you want to keep it straight. And now you're going to have to adjust your elbow to get the pressure to go in. Drop your hip and push it. Push my fingers, push through here. Sure, let me show you what I mean by that. Touch my, here, touch here. And put one hand here, one hand here. So you feel. You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
That's coming from the hip. So what I was doing was this. So it's coming from the hip. The L shape is not changing. The posture of the knuckles, the alignment. If I want to drop this down and come up more, it still doesn't change. If I want to drop down and up more, it doesn't change.
Can you check that?
Sure. So see how you're collapsing here? So, and look how much space you just gave up. Keep the weight on.
I'm not punching it.
Okay. Right on. Okay, good.
Is that better?
Better. Keep going. Keep going. Good, better. Keep going. Again, hip down, boom. Look at how I'm opening up here. Boom. Look at how this, it looks like I'm opening up and pulling my arm back. What I'm really doing is pushing my hip forward. Keep this solid. And she's sweating, so I just put my hand on her arm and it's all sweaty. And so it's really important to recognize that this slow work is building up not only the muscle memory, but giving you a phenomenal heart rate. It's actually closer to a fat-burning heart rate than more explosive exercises. So it's really, really nice.
Should I feel the abs tensing when I push my hip?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, because it feels like if I just push the hip, then I lose the structure of the arm.
Okay, so that's an interesting way to put it.
Like, you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, so upon impact in general, there is a flex, whether you're impacting, whether you're receiving impact or you're giving impact. So there is a moment of tension where you solidify the structure.
Can I just see? I'm not gonna want to do it.
Sure. Well, take a look at this. Like that. See that?
Mm-hmm.
If I drop down, boop, bang. So come out more and come around my arm. Boom. Yep, go for it. And just show it on camera so they can see too. So you're here, you're going to come around my guard. My guard's right here. You're going to hit behind my guard. Bang, exactly.
So I need to move my whole body.
Yeah. And that's that's what I was saying to you guys in terms of like one of the drills that I would do in high school, which I think is great, what we're not going to do tonight, is moving around.
Okay, can you check it out?
Slapping, or hitting, punching. Go for it. Oh. To the end. Okay, so here's a note. Because we're doing the theme of staying solid on this leg, this is a little more, this may not give you the full sense of the motion that you want to achieve, which is essentially jumping past or winding up and running off the leg. So that's a more subtle version of it. I think you are achieving it, and every time you notice it's good, but there is. What number are you on?
Really close to go.
Okay, cool.
Want to go to the next arm?
No, finish that arm, and then on the next arm you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see the difference. Okay, next up. Go. 5. Come here. There you go. Drop down, drop your low. Throw it from low. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Body shot. Good stuff. So this one, feel free to move around the bag a little more so that you can feel how the body shot, this body shot is not just about hitting behind the arm like we did earlier, it's also about hitting here, hitting the belly, about stepping off and throwing the belly wide, stepping the other way and hitting, switching your stance, boom, boom, and hitting. So like just feel more free on this side and yeah, feel it.
Wait, so it can be a straight punch too?
No, it's the same punch. It's not a straight punch. It's the same punch, just thrown from different angles.
Okay, all right.
So you can focus here, but if you want to feel get a little bit more understanding of the whip of it, and the whip is really coming from the angle at which you're throwing, not just the body mechanic, but also like your position in relation to the opponent. So you may step up. Back.
I know what you mean. Go. Maybe some resistance band stuff while arms working here. So as you be doing a body shot, we'll be doing a boom, lift up. 1, 2.
So try to stay down the entire time. And get really comfortable down there. In other words, you're here, boom, and the entire 100 exercises you're staying low. So what number are you on?
A long way.
Really? Okay, just go faster. So it's really great doing this stuff, 100 of each, because really it burns the mind, and that's part of what you want to do in martial arts. Like you really want to condition the mind. You want to start to break away from certain attachments, and yeah, it's really, really great. I highly recommend really putting yourself through the ringer when it comes to certain mental exercises in martial arts. Martial arts gives us the great ability to do so. These things, so back to it for me. Stay lower. You got it?
It's not helpful.
You got it? So I'm just saying it's not helpful. I want everyone to understand that when your coach or your teacher tells you to stay lower, instead of responding, that's not helpful, you just get lower. so get lower. Okay. Just get a little lower. Just get a little lower. And then swing it out. Just a little. Even if it's incrementally. You want to make sure, it's really, really important, you want to use your teacher. Use your teachers as an ability to think of them as the discipline in your mind. Really, really important. Because if you resist your teacher, this is very much comes from my upbringing around Chinese and Indian modalities, kung fu, yoga, etc. You want to use your teacher or your guru or your sifu or your sensei, and you want to use them as a tool to push you even incrementally more. So even if your body says, no, I can't, you want to take that moment and allow the teacher to say, yes, you can. Of course you can. It's mind over matter. Of course you can. This is what we train for. We train to go beyond what our expected limitations are. So to exceed expectations. So even if it's incremental, small, like, oh, I can't do anything else, you probably can. You'll probably do a little bit more. And unless you really feel there's certain teachers that are like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna push this person so much and they're gonna break. You don't want to be training in a toxic environment. This is definitely not that. So, all right, what are we on now? Overhand. So you're here. Do you feel like you can continue? Finish?
Yeah, just
cool.
Like
Cool. All right. So let's go for it. Well, this is the language. So let's go for it. Overhand and overhand. So you're gonna, let's see. You see the exhalation, right? So you're gonna inhale, overhand. Inhale, overhand. Inhale, overhand. So you're gonna inhale up and feel the flip. The tricep's gonna flip like a switch over. It's gonna flip over. And that's what's going to help you get the structure. So you're still throwing almost like a hook, but you're gonna allow this flip of the switch of the tricep on the inhalation to flip the hip too. So check that out. Flip right here. Right there. Go for it. And because this is an overhand, imagine going over my hand, over someone's attack, or even over their guard, and crashing down. So think about, pause on impact, please. Great, pause on impact and feel all this angle. Imagine this is just a flat plane, a paper, or whatever you want to call it, plane. And all the pressure is sliding this way. So when you inhale up and you feel this, the second you make the contact, you allow yourself, bend the knee more weight forward, and allow yourself to feel all the pressure washing downward here. And it's washing down through the fist into the opponent. And it's just a moment of very intense pressure. It's not just the strike, it's the way you're relaxing into it afterward. Good stuff. And so again, to address that question you had earlier, is there tension in the abs? There is the flex, just for a moment, and then you release. So you don't hold the flex the entire time on the impact. You boom, flex, and then release. Beautiful, very beautiful, beautiful form. This is the best form we've done on very, very nice. Great guard.
Wow, I like moving more.
Cool.
Slower.
So your leg posture is actually great. Just do your best to, instead of stepping back and taking weight off, to keep it on that front leg. So stay on the front.
Like when I come back. Or
Yeah, the only thing you're doing is you're shifting weight back and forward. Stay forward. Beautiful. Beautiful. How's that feel? Now you
my
might.
shoulders are just getting very tense.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to push through that.
Okay, you got it. And then we'll do a nice deep stretch out of that. Let's see. See how much? 10% on here.
How come there's no left over in
It's just in this form. Autumn's question is how come there's no left overhand, which means, first of all, a lot of people don't throw lead hand overhands. I love to throw lead hand overhands, so I think a lead hand overhand is great. And that's why I said 12 or 13 punches. Sometimes I'll do this form with the 2 overhands, but right now we're only going to do 1. The other reason is because in the form, again, by nature of this boxing form, the overhand sets up the step back and throw you're reversing your stance and throwing your straight to the body. A little more bend in the knee. Good stuff. How many more? Okay. Good stuff. So I'm doing the rising punch right now with a resistance band. Give me a nice little workout into a squat. That rising punch, oftentimes you might see it in a pendulum block position. You're here boxing, and then someone just whips the hand out, or it slides up, boom, and it comes right up. So whip the hand up, come down, slide up to the chin. Rare punch, but it does happen, and it's a nice extension and nice kind of kung fu. It's a boxing, definitively an American boxing technique, but nice nod to kung fu. Okay, great. Now, the form, overhand, step back, boom, right here. So you're gonna step back into your straight to the body. So switch your legs, your right leg is going to be forward. Great. And throw it straight to the body. Step over a little bit, please. Okay, go for it. Straight to the solar plexus area, right here. And drop your left leg. Exactly. Good. And with it, really feel the full turn. The turn. Feel the full turn. There you go.
Of the wrist or?
Of the hips and the waist. Yep. And soften the shoulder so that it's not coming up, pushing forward to the shoulder blade. So if you need to step back a little bit more so you can fully extend, that's great. Good. Here. Pivot that back heel. There you go. Pause right there. Pause. Drop. Turn. Turn. Hand up. Turn here. Great. Drop the chin. Eyes right there. Awesome. There you go. Perfect. Beautiful. Go for it. So I'm doing 10 each side of these. Then I'm going to hit my wall press squats, which help strengthen the back as well. So notice that there's a little hop on your back heel, which means that you're taking pressure off of it and stepping and then dropping down. So that's going to affect the power you're delivering forward. So rather than a step, just keep the feet solid and drop into it. And then inhale up and then drop into it. Yeah, good stuff. Whenever you're at. Good. You got it. 2 punches away. You're literally 2 punches away from being done.
Well, I was going to ask you to skip the last one.
Okay. 1 punch away from being done.
Well, it's the least practical.
It's again, it's a special punch. Shout out to Sam Levine, who taught me that punch that I added to my boxing form, and I love that punch, that rising punch that I'm just doing. Really great. Again, it's you gotta be. It's a particular thing to get in a sparring match. And also check out the video I just posted with Sam Levine and I at Justice for Hire training that we did in New York. Sam Levine is a Jeet Kune Do master and a Savate fighter, former football player, great guy, collegiate football player, wrestler, really, really cool guy. And boxer as well. He's just got a lot of dense martial background. He and I doing Tai Chi push hands at a Justice for Hire event, so really cool stuff. And that was just released 2 days ago on YouTube, so check it out. It says JKD versus Tai Chi on it. Also, I have to say, for anyone that showed up, if you are in Florida today, apparently we were supposed to have a Justice for Hire panel today at Pensacon at 5 p.m. Pacific time, Eastern time. I am so sorry. Miscommunication. Well, I'm in Los Angeles, so we didn't know we actually were confirmed for today. And so if you showed up to that panel and you were looking for us, and like because a bunch of people did, it's my sincerest apologies. I am so sorry about that. The head of the con texted me like, "Hey, are you gonna do the panel?" I was just like, "What?" So I didn't see the emails, and we didn't give a confirmation back. So it was like a whole thing. And apparently it was promoted and people came. So I deeply apologize. So go to justiceforhire.app to join what we're doing, to be part of what we're doing. And always just feel free to reach out to me on Justice for Hire, at Justice for Hire, anywhere. And I will happily answer or address any thoughts, questions, or ideas. So sorry about that, guys. But it was really cool to know that people showed up to our cosplay your damn self event. So your last punch, which is the other side. Yeah, last one. Go for it.
Like different leg forward, right?
So, no, same leg forward. So you just, the boxing form, you're in front of the camera? The boxing form is jab, cross, hook, uppercut, body shot, overhand, step back. And this is what you just did. And now you're going to go here. Look at that. So let's see how this back foot's spun in. So I went here, boom, here. Inhale up. So I'm using this reverse pivot to help bring everything forward here. And so, then you're going to come up, but you're not going to do that one. Do your best to keep the leg. Try not to take the weight off too much.
Okay. Like between punches.
Yeah, exactly. And part of the reason I'm emphasizing this so much, I'll make an adjustment on her posture, but part of the reason I'm emphasizing the placement of the knee so much is because you don't want to mess up your knees. It's just not necessary. And so the way you keep your knees healthy and strong is you be very cognizant of the alignment of weight and bone and muscle so that you're not grinding on your kneecaps, messing up the cartilage, etc. So these types of movements, if you're not used to them, you have to build up over time. So Autumn she committed to doing 100 punches of each. We didn't have to do this today, so I want to make sure she follows through that commitment. She's doing a great job. But while you're doing this, it's also important to note that if you haven't done this before, 100 punches may be too much for you. I started out doing like 25 of each. I'm like, okay, I did maybe even 10. I may have started with 10. Like I'll do 10, and then I'll switch, and I'll do 10. And I just built up over time, and then I was doing literally like 10,000 punches. So, I would turn on some Linkin Park and just go out the back. So, Linkin Park is great for rounds too, because their first album, especially Hybrid Theory, has the songs are about the length of a boxing match or a competitive match in martial arts. So almost 3 minutes around that ballpark, give or take. So, but what I'm getting at here is that if you see your knee sliding in and out, first of all, you never want the knee to go past the big toe when you do martial movements like this. You also don't want to pivot on your knee on the leg that has weight. You never pivot on the leg the leg that has full weight. That means you can really rip the kneecap. Just don't do that. So it's not necessary. There's better ways to move. And the cool thing about Tai Chi is it gives you some options of what. And if you check my TikTok, it's on my Tai Chi channel too. If you check my TikTok, literally at the top of the page, you'll see how to save your knee. Is it at the top of the page anymore? It may not be at the top of the page anymore. Actually, I may have changed it. But I have a knee. You always move the toe and the knee at the same time from the hip, and that's how you help save your knees over time. So. when you're doing this, Autumn doesn't, this is like, she doesn't, we come to the bag once a week, so she doesn't necessarily have the ability to do this practice on a bag on a regular basis. But what you can do is do it at home. Do it at home. So even if I'm pumping the knee, I'm still making adjustments. Still making adjustments in my weight. I know that my knee is going in and out, straight back and forward. It's not wobbling as it comes in. And if it is wobbling for you, slow yourself down even more so you can be that much more cognizant of where the weight is distributed at what time. Again, all this stuff helps you as a martial artist, helps you sell your martial arts on camera if you are doing action choreography or anything like that. We're almost done. This is the last technique, so I want to make sure that people remember the intention behind why we are doing this Friday night training here at Shaolin American Self-Defense Academy in North Hollywood, California. And anybody who is part of the Justice for Hire community is always welcome to come and train. Excuse me. Okay, how many more do you got? 30, go. Good stuff. Remember, exhale to the center of the, good stuff. So while you get that 30, I'm gonna get in. How about I do 30? Let me put it this right now. You guys saw me look like humping that wall. That's not what I was doing. That's an exercise to keep your chest and the hips on the wall while you drop the weight down. It's really helpful for back rehab. Again, my recovery from this car accident experience. So I'm going to do a little stretch from that for the glutes right now. This first yoga stretch, feet shoulder width apart, feet underneath your sit bones. Sit bones are where the pelvis meets the femur. Right in that alignment, you're going to have imaginary strings go down, put the heels on either side, or if you cut your hips in half, the center of each hip should be around your hip, your sit bones. Put the heels there, suck the belly button in. Note the collarbone. Up. Belly button. Collarbone. Fingertips, thumbs interlace. Fingers go up. Suck the belly button in. Collarbone goes up again. Fingers, tips go up again. So notice how many times we just did that. I wasn't repeating for fun. You're actually multiple times reinforced structure. So now I'm visualizing all my muscles in the lower back lifting out of the hips. So they go up, 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 up. Weight stays on the heels and I hold, sucking the belly button again. Collarbone, fingertips, up. And now all the muscles in the middle back I visualize and I watch them, I visualize them going up, up, up. Out of the lower back, and then I hold, sucking the belly button, lift the collarbone and the fingertips. And now the upper back, all the muscles going up, 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 out of the middle back, hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips, and then finally the shoulders going out of the upper back, up, 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 visualize and feel it go up, sucking, hold it, sucking the belly button, collarbone, fingertips up, and maintain the structure of the hands, float down as you exhale, drop the chin. And come down one vertebrae at a time. Exhaling one vertebrae at a time. Visualize it. One vertebrae melting off the last. You have to visualize. You got to see it. Give you a deeper experience of your own body. You have to visualize.
I don't know why my phone, it was on 100% and it just died.
Just now?
Yeah. I don't know why, TikTok does that to it.
Up, 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 up. Okay, we're going to get a few more stretches in Autumn, I think for you on your shoulders, can you do the one on the ground where you're like this,
Which one?
where your chest is straight on the front, and you kind of throw a foot behind you?
I don't prefer that one.
Okay. So because you did so much shoulder work, here, let's stretch out shoulders. You know what? Here, we're gonna finish the other two yoga exercises first. So, second exercise, yoga, then we'll do some stretching for the shoulders. Sit bones again. Sucking the belly button. Collarbone. Interlace the thumbs, fingertips go up. Reinforce again, belly button sucks in. Once you have that first lift, you reinforce it again. Belly button, collarbone, fingertips. And now visualize the lower back coming out of the hips. Hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. Middle back, up, hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. Upper back, up, hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. Shoulders up, hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. And now the lower back is going to shoot back. Your butt is going to curve outward. And then you're going to hold. Sucking the belly button with the collarbone and the fingertips. And now visualize the lower back muscles lifting out of that hip line. Up, up, up. Hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. And then the middle back lifting out of that. Butt goes back, middle back lifts up. Hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. Butt goes back. The upper back, hold up, on, collarbone, fingertips. Back. And shoulders up, up, up. Belly button, collarbone, fingertips. And look up. Interlace your fingers under your chin. Exhaling back, butt. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Inhaling up. Notice that I'm lifting here. Lifting my eyeballs and my collarbone. Exhale. Exhaling down. Weight shifts forward. You can fold your arms and hang. I'm not going to do that. Too much pressure on the back. So just keep away the balls of the feet. Release the head. And then shift the weights to the heels. Suck at the belly button one vertebrae at a time, coming out slowly, inhaling as you come up. Last one for the yoga stretches. Interlace the fingers like this. Index fingers touching. Suck the belly button in. And what that does, when you suck the belly button in, you're contracting all the abdominal muscles here to the center point of your belly. And then you're visualizing the belly button touching the spine. And what that does is it pulls the muscles from around the spine and helps to release any tension here so that you can actually lift and elongate the spine and release pressure. Really important at all stages of life to be able to do this particular movement. So suck in, have that structure, collarbone up, fingertips up. And again, once you have it, the lift, you reinforce the structure, suck in the belly button, lift the collarbone, and the fingertips. And now you visualize the lower back muscles coming out of the hip line. Hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. And now the middle back, up, hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. And now the upper back, up, hold, belly button, collarbone, fingertips. And look up. Shift the weight forward onto the balls of the feet and the toes. Use the butt, the glutes, and the abdominal muscles to help your structure. sucking the belly button. Lift the chest to the ceiling and the fingers to the wall behind you. And now, visualize the lower back doing that. Lifts up, belly button, collarbone, fingertips, hold as much as you can go. And then the middle back lifts up out of the lower back, slightly, belly button, collarbone lifts up, fingers to the back wall, hold. And now finally, upper back lifting out of the middle, hold, belly button, chest up, fingers back, hold. Now shoulders out of the upper back, up, belly button, chest to the ceiling, fingers to the back, hold, and then bring it back to center, sucking the belly button, lift the collarbone, and the fingertips. Reestablish that structure one more time, and then exhale, drop the arms down. One vertebrae at a time going down. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, we get a little more stretching in. I'm really proud of Autumn. She did a phenomenal job. Look at her coming up. She did a great job, and that's no joke. When you do this kind of training, it's no joke. 2 hours. If you spend like 30 minutes of training a day, like obviously you do what you can in life. But when you really want to, I was raised with the concept of monk life, so like Shaolin training, and around a lot of like Indian gurus and masters and stuff like that. So to me, it's just part of my upbringing that you have to put in multiple hours a day to actually like really connect to various modalities. So when you do a 2-hour session like Autumn just did, over 2 hours, it's serious stuff. And it changes the mind. It changes the way you meet reality. It changes what you feel is important in life, and deepens your perspective into yourself and into the world. So it's really great stuff, and I'm just really always proud of when people step up and get the training in themselves. And I encourage everyone to take at least one day a week and go deep into their training. So I'm going to do some...
That's yoga stretch, actually.
It does, but now... Oh, it's right, your shoulders.
So it feels much better after that.
Yeah, but you still need to do a lot more because you just train... I mean, if you don't stretch for a while after you train, you're going to pay for it. So, Autumn, make sure you can grab a side of a wall. And what we're going to do is we're just putting the arm on the side of the wall, as you can see. And I'm going to get that lift, that yoga lift, sucking the belly button. Any stretch you do, that yoga lift is actually very important. Helps to, so now I've gotten that lift. And now I'm going to turn my nose, I'm going to keep my nose and my heart aligned. And I'm going to turn my body away from my arm. I'm doing my best to keep my nose and my heart aligned because I want to make sure that I'm not turning so far past, trying to look around. I'm trying to get the deep stretch from the shoulder joint. Inhaling deep, exhale, open the shoulder. So, and then inhale, pull yourself back in. Notice that I'm actually giving myself a little pressure here. I'm actually pushing to bring myself back rather than just relax into it and release. I'm giving a little pressure to bring myself back. And then I'm relaxing it out. And then do it again. You double up. You don't just go once on one side and then switch to the other side. You go twice. Because the second time, you'll be able to go farther. And you want to get right to it. You don't want to forget the muscle memory to forget. Or you consciously being conscious of the muscle memory, of the musculature experience. And the color visualization is important here. Inhaling into the belly. Exhale. Wash the color into the arm, the breath. Inhale the breath, seeing it as a color gathering in the belly. Exhale, push the breath from the belly into the area you're stretching and program that breath, program that color to melt the tension away in the area that you're stretching. So you visualize that color going deep into the muscles and relaxing it, almost like it's been injected with that color visualization. And then inhale, I push back just a little bit, and then I soften my arm. Push back a little bit, and I soften my arm. Softening, 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 softening. And then you switch to the other side. Other side, palm, right here on the side. Suck in the belly button. Lift the collarbone to establish your structure of the body, the structured spine. And then you're going to open the hips, maybe even step back, and start turning the heart and the nose away from the palm. And I feel it in my pectoral muscle as well. Pectoral minor, especially, a little bit in pectoral major. And don't just count seconds, count breaths. Inhaling, drawing the color into the belly. Exhale, washing that color through the muscles, softening the muscles, opening up. And then inhale, pushing back a little bit. I'm pushing into the wall a little bit as I release to protect the joint. I want to protect the joint. And then I soften, 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 soften. And then I come back again, inhaling, opening up. Now, if you just do it too quickly, you may forget the lift and the structural lift in the body. So belly button, collarbone, then you can reignite the movement. Remember, you do each side at least twice right away because you want to make sure that you can feel the progress you've made between the first and the second time doing it. And then exhale back into it. Pushing, 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 pushing. And autumn for your shoulders. Taking the hands, putting them high up. Exactly. Because I'm holding the phone, I'm doing it one hand at a time. And then finally, shoulder-wise, well actually there's not really finally, there's maybe two more. So one, just pulling across the body, arm behind the elbow, comes up, fingers reaching forward or reaching across. Soften the shoulder, so if you feel the shoulder going up, push it down. Shoulder blade disappears into the upper back. Inhale deep, the color in the belly. Exhale, push the color into the stretch and reach across. So notice this is all activated by the breath. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, pushing the breath into the stretch as you pull across. There's no stretching without the breath. You're just going to get less value out of the experience. Inhale deep. Exhale. So you want to get as much value as possible. And I'm not saying that this is full value. What I'm saying is that this is more valuable than not breathing into it. So there's always a higher level. And reaching across. Inhaling deep, exhale, push the breath into the stretching area and pull. Very gentle pull. Inhale deep, exhale, pull across. Inhale deep, exhale, pull across. And go right back to the other side. Inhale deep, exhale, pull across. Inhale deep, exhale, pull across. Inhale deep, exhale, pull across. One more time. Inhale deep, exhale, pull across. Inhale deep, exhale, pull across. Inhale deep, exhale, pull across. So, hand, kidney, hand on kidney. Other hand on shoulder, walk it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And as you walk down, it's not just for show. You're actually gently sliding weight down. So I'm actually pulling. I'm pulling on an angle. Sliding my weight, almost like I'm playing an instrument. And I'm sliding, crawling that weight down And I'm pulling my finger, I'm only doing this to show you the vector, the angle that I'm pulling, and then I'm going to add an upward vector to it. And now I never let up the pressure. The pressure is going this way, and then I just change the angle of the pressure. I start lifting out. So I got the joint to open up downward. Now I got it to open up upward and lift out, and now it's like a door that I'm opening. And I keep that pressure going. And I'm keeping my heart and nose in alignment and forward. So I can tell what's straight. I want to be able to measure my progress. A lot of people, when they first do this, they're all cranked up and they're turning their body. Keep your hips and shoulders square forward. Inhale deep, exhale. And be very gentle. Very gentle. You may only be able to go here. That's fine. And let's keep what we were talking about earlier. Let's release and then bring it back, pulling down again, pull it up, and we'll keep it the same side, and go right into our second one. Inhale deep, exhale. Look, you can always go a little bit more on that second one. And check in with your back, your buttocks, your neck. Make sure everything, exhale, releasing slow. Everything's aligned, and now we go to the other side. Hand and kidney, hand on the shoulder, walking down. Get that every step you're taking with those fingers, every crawl, or the crawl, putting more and more weight, pulling it down, 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 lifting up. Angle that weight up, 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 up. Angle the pressure upward and lifting out. Inhale deep. So the pressure is now pulling across my body. And I check in. Is my hip pulling too much? My chest is lifted. Hips and shoulders square as possible. Inhale deep. Exhale. Exhale, and I release the pressure. But I keep a little bit, but I release, and I start pulling down. Down again. See, I keep that vector pointing down, and I start lifting it up. I check in with my hips, check in with my heart, my nose, my alignment. Inhale the collar to the belly. Every movement, every pull is motivated by that breath, and then releasing down and starting to release that pressure completely. And finally, last stretch here. Hands behind. If you can only reach, aiming the fingers toward each other, that's fine. If you can only get the elbow up and the elbow down, that's fine. But if you can actually touch hands, that's great. And if you can grasp, that's even better. Once you get the grasp, you can overemphasize, and you don't want to do this. You want to avoid just doing the pull. Instead, you want to use the grip as a foundation for you to align the shoulders, going like a yin-yang, yin-yang, in opposite directions. And what my elbow going up, my elbow going down. Opening the chest. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale into it. Inhale. Exhale. One more time inside. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, solidify. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale. And then uplifting heaven. Stretch up. Exhale down. One more. Inhaling up. Exhale down. And for autumn, just roll the shoulders back. Big rolls, 10 times. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up and hold and down. 2, down. 3, 4. Use these muscles right here. 4, 5. Not just lifting your shoulder, but really feel the muscles activate. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then shoulders opposite. 2, 3, 4. Like you're dancing. 8, 9, 10. Reverse it. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then neck. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Reverse it. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale Inhale out. Good stuff. One more uplifting up. Close the eyes, inhale, white light to the belly. Spread it to the whole body. Inhale, white light. Make a big bubble around the body. Inhale, white light. And spread the light as far as you can. Have gratitude for your body, the space you're in, the good people in your life. And thank you guys so much. Again, big shout out to Autumn. She did a phenomenal job. And you can find her on justiceforhire.app as AK Wonder, AK1, number 1, and then the underscore sign, and then DR. So it's AK Wonder from Justice for Hire. She got a Justice for Hire t-shirt on. Again, everybody's welcome here at Shaolin American Self-Defense Academy. The training, Friday night training. This is sponsored training by Sensei Donnie Jeffcoat here at Shaolin American Self-Defense Academy in Los Angeles, in North Hollywood. So if you're a part of the cast, it is free to come and train. So you come and train with us. Nick and Patrick were supposed to be here tonight. We've been taking a little bit more time off of the intense promoting the training right now, because what we're doing is, like I said, there's a Story So Far video coming out very soon that showcases a lot of heroes, a lot of folks who are in our community, and a lot of the show itself, because this has been years in the making. And actually, this is the year. We actually started in November actually putting out new episodes, where our first episode went viral from our first season, or season 0, back in 2021. And that was on TikTok. That's what blew up our Justice for Hire account on TikTok. So, but we only released 4 episodes that we consider a starter pack. And so this whole show, which is about Uber for heroes, you can hire a hero or become one and get paid, essentially a vigilante app. This whole show we've amassed cast members worldwide on our justiceforhire.app. That's where we're making the show. So we shoot in LA, we shoot in New York, we travel around to Comic-Cons like Pensacon today, which we're again, apologies on missing that one. But we will be at WonderCon, we will be at San Diego Comic-Con, and we have some stuff that's going to be happening in LA very soon too. So this year, a lot of new episodes, a lot of cool stuff happening. I love you guys so much. I'm Jan, Coach Jan, on my Tai Chi channel on Justice for Hire. You just know me as Jan, or AKA Hero Zero. You can also ally or rival me on justiceforhire.app at just write in Jan in the search bar. So, but I love you guys so much. I'm always so grateful to share this stuff with you. I'm always so grateful to folks that watch and train with me on both channels, on Tai Chi and YouTube. Tai Chi and Justice for Hire, and I repost these videos on YouTube all the time. So my Tai Chi channel's got 3 videos coming out every single day. It's kind of nuts, but it's really great. We just hit 1 million views on there too. So shout out to everybody that follows. I went to @Jan's Tai Chi, that channel, and please follow @Justice for Hire. And I love you guys. And if you ever have a thought, question, or idea, let me know. I will totally I'll answer it, or I will make a video specifically to answer it, because I love great questions, because that's how we really advance, by asking great questions. So have a wonderful weekend. Oh, actually, I'm going to share this great quote. This morning, the first quote I read blew my mind, and it says, "If you are wealthy, be humble. Even a plant bends when it bears fruit." And just think about that. I wanted to share that. I'll say it one more time. If you're wealthy, be humble. A plant bends when it bears fruit. Just a great quote, great thing to think about. And wealth of all kinds, mental, spiritual, physical, material, etc., to recognize the bending, to bear the fruit of those things. I love you guys. Have a great weekend.